Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this. This is LK's Wrestling Reviews, and this is ROH Field of Honor 2015 review. And if you're listening to this on the KocoSports.net YouTube channel, make sure you put in the comments below, was this show a win? Was this show a tie? Or was this show a loss? Before I get to breaking down this show, I personally think this was a win. It was not a huge win. There was no 5-star match. There was a 4.5-star. We'll get onto that later. But it still was a very good show. Very much a win for me. If you disagree, put in the comments. And if you disagree with anything I say, put in the comments and tell me why you disagree. I don't mind if you disagree. If you give me a reason, then I say, yeah, okay, hands up, I'm wrong. You are right. And that's your opinion. You're entitled to it. And thank you for listening to this podcast. And I hope you watch Field of Honor. And if you're wondering what the fuck I'm on about, Field of Honor is on rohwrestling.com. If you sign up to become a ringside member, which is an extra $7 a month, you get 25% off all these video on demand shows, plus every show prior to 2012 you have on video on demand. So I definitely thought it's a good buy. So I got 25% off this show, which was then down to about $14.99, which is just under £10 in English money over here in the UK. So if you're interested in how to watch this show, that you could find a pirate. That you could be a pirate and find somewhere, but if you are looking to buy it the legal way, the way to go is rohwrestling.com, then click watch now, and then it will take you to buying the pay-per-view, and you'll have to log in and sign up for all this gimmick shit. And we'll get to Field of Honor now. So this show was live from MCU Park in Brooklyn, New York. Obviously, Brooklyn taking over the wrestling world this weekend with Ring of Honor, with Field of Honor, WWE producing NXT, SummerSlam, and Monday Night Raw, all in the same building in the Barclays Center, but all in Brooklyn, New York. So if you're a wrestling fan and in the summer and you want to go on a little vacation, I'd fucking go to Brooklyn, New York for sure. And then it was a good sized crowd. I mean, every wrestling show inside a baseball stadium, in my opinion, looks shit. That's just my personal opinion, but it definitely looked better than the Global Force Wrestling pictures I've been seeing of their attendance. So it did look good from that point of view. And there was one stand when the hard camera showed that looked beautiful. There was not a seat available. So good stuff, Ring of Honor there. Good advertising. Good job with however you got that many people in the building. Good job. Very good job. So we go to our opening match. We have one half of the ROH Tag Team Champions, Christopher Daniels, or Almighty Christopher Daniels, as the toilet likes to be referred to now, versus Adam Cole. And what I do like about the baseball stadium intros, though, is during the in-ring intros, it gives it a real big fight feel because the outside stadium, so it bounces off. There's nowhere to bounce off, so you just kind of hear it. It sounds really good. And like I said before, the hard camera, the way it's positioned, it's really good. You can see all of the ring, and you can see a massive amount of people. It really does look good and look professional. So good job there. Daniels is this match working the left shoulder. Cole obviously had surgery a few months ago on the left shoulder, so that does make sense. Daniels with the heel heap continuing to work the arm. They exchange back and forth forearm strikes until Daniels continues to go back to the shoulder. And Adam Cole is selling this very well, and it's very good stuff early going on. Daniels then goes for the best moonsault ever, but Cole counters that and hits a running leg lariat. Cole hits Shining Wizard for 2. Daniels applies the Koji Clutch. Cole then hits a German and then a Shining Wizard to the back of the head for 2. Then Saban comes out. And if you're wondering why I just said Chris Saban, if you're not familiar with Ring of Honor, basically Saban, Christopher Daniels, and Frankie Kazarian, they make up the KRD. I can't remember what it stands for. I generally can't. But basically earlier this year, basically people kept on attacking random people, and they were masked people and they were unmasked, and it was Daniels, Kazarian, and Saban. So they're now Healy bastards. Cole then super kicks Saban. Cole then hits a suplex onto the knee to the head, and that gets the win. Considering how much I have been hating on Christopher Daniels recently on the KocoSports.net YouTube channel, it's good to see Daniels kind of pull a rabbit out of the hat, so to speak. But Adam Cole, in my opinion, is one of the greatest professional wrestlers on the planet right now. So I'm not really shocked that they had a good match, but it was generally a good match. I'm going to give it 2.25 stars, maybe 2 stars, depending on what mood you catch me. If you catch me in a bad mood, I'll give it 2 stars. Catch me in a good mood, 2.5. I'm in an okay mood here. 2.25 stars from me. Decent match, good way to kick off. You're not putting jobbers out there. You're putting 2 established stars wrestling each other. You got a clear baby face and a clear heel. That works for me. Then we go up to our next match. We have War Machine versus the Killer Elite Squad. Killer Elite Squad are the GHC Tag Team Champions, which is the equivalent to you and I as the Pro Wrestling Noah Tag Team Champions. I don't get that about Japanese wrestling, how, like, for instance, for New Japan, if someone could help me out in the comments below, in New Japan, there's the IWGP Champion. Pro Wrestling Noah, you have the GHC. Like, I don't understand what that means. Like, I generally, like, why can't they just be the New Japan Tag Team Champions, the Pro Wrestling Noah Tag Team Champions? I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking into it a bit much. Maybe it's I don't know. I don't. Just please, someone drop in the comments, or if no one drops in the comments, I'll just do some research into this once this show ends. Again, War Machine, Killer Elite Squad. War Machine is Hanson and Ray Rowe, and Killer Elite Squad is Davey Boy Smith, aka British Bulldog's son, and Lance Archer. And I'm going to be honest, the more and more I'm watching of War Machine on a week-to-week basis on these Ring of Honor high pay-per-views, video-on-demand shows, and their weekly television show, I'm really becoming a huge fan of War Machine. I really like Hanson. For a guy his size, he's very athletic, and Ray Rowe just brings the intensity and power to the team, and I'm a big fan of both. And a few months ago, there's a reason for this match. I mean, a few months ago, these two teams wrestled, and it was a good match, and Killer Elite Squad get the win, so in theory, you realize War Machine are going to get the win. Anyway, like I said, Killer Elite Squad wrestling Pro Wrestling Noah. No code of honor. They just brawl from the get-go. Davey has now adapted this MMA style, which I'm a huge fan of. He's really improved. I remember in his time in WWE, I was kind of not really sure why he had a job, and now he's taken that and he's become a well-rounded wrestler. He may be getting a bit better shape, but that's just my opinion. Hanson gets your hot tag. He hits a double Bronco Buster. And then again, the match gets cut in half, and Hanson is your face in peril until Rowe gets the hot tag. Rowe hits the shotgun knees and exploder suplex. Hanson hits a double suicide dive. That guy is so athletic, and for a guy his size to be pulling out the moves that he pulls out, it's generally incredible. He is one-of-a-kind athlete, and I'm looking forward to his match with Jay Lethal next Wednesday for the TV title. I really am. War Machine then hit the path of resistance. Smith then hits a big kick to the head, and followed that up by a Saito suplex for 2. Smith strikes are really great. They're stiff. They might be snug. I'm not sure. They might be stiff. I'm not sure because I'm not wrestling the guy. But they look very good compared to the last time I've seen him in WWE. I mean, I've seen him after WWE, of course. But, he's in Pro Wrestling Noah. I don't follow Pro Wrestling Noah. I'm sorry. I can't tolerate foreign commentary apart from New Japan, because I love their commentary. Brainbuster, Lariato, Rainmaker, I fly floor. Sorry, that's a bit random. I don't. How the hell did we get to that? Jesus Christ. Then War Machine hit Fallout to get the win. It was a big win, knocking off the GHC Tag Champs, and it was announced a couple of days after the show aired that War Machine now will be flying over to Japan. They are now the number 1 contenders for the GHC Tag title. So War Machine, congratulations on a big break in your careers. You're both going over to Japan, both wrestling for Pro Wrestling Noah against Killer Elite Squad for the GHC Tag titles. Hopefully ROH show it on one of their TV shows. If not, I'll hopefully find a way to watch it. Maybe again, I've written my notes there. Maybe War Machine off to Pro Wrestling Noah, but obviously that's before I read that online. And then we go to a gauntlet match, which the winner of this got a number 1 contenders match for the TV title at September the 17th or 18th show that Ring of Honor are holding. I think it's a house show, so I don't think whoever wins is going to really win the strap. So you have opening. It starts off with Dalton Castle versus Adam Page. I don't want to insult your intelligence, but if you don't know what a gauntlet match is, which I hope every single person listening to this knows, you wrote 1 versus 1. When one person wins by either submission, pinfall, count out, or disqualification, the loser goes to the back and another man comes out. That's the rules to a gauntlet. So we start off with Castle and Adam Page, and the lighting now. The lighting is perfect. Literally, it was started outside. It was quite sunny, so adding the lights, it was, that's bright. And now the sun setting, it's getting dark, and it looks absolutely beautiful. It really does look beautiful, especially when the hard camera shots, the ring is lit very well. And you just see like loads of fans there. It really is a good moment. If you're a Ring of Honor fan, you supported them through the shit that they go for. Like, for instance, the All-Star or Death Before Dishonor last year, or All-Star Extravaganza last year, they tried to sell out a really big building and it looked shit. It looked TNA style. So I'm happy now that their attendance is up. But the issue is obviously because it's a baseball stadium, it just doesn't look that great. So Dalton Castle and Page start off. Adam Page reps in the decade. Castle, is my opinion, is the American version of Nakamura. Like, he's so charismatic, but at the same time, he's not a one-trick pony. He's still a very good professional wrestler, and he really is impressing me every time I see him. I wasn't a fan of him when he first came. I thought it was an absolute toilet. But someone told me off on the comment section on LK's YouTube channel over at smarkamark.com. Make sure you check that out, smarkamark.com. There's a great podcast and some great articles over there. There you are. They won't shout at me now. I won't get molested not molested. I won't get battered by my team. How could they molest me? They're all the way across the pond in America. But I said he's a toilet, and in the comments they were like, "No, he's not a toilet. Give him a chance. Give him a chance." So I said, "Okay, I'll give the guy a chance." and he's impressed me. He's impressed the shit out of me. Maybe I just watched a bad day. I just watched his entrance and I thought, this guy's an absolute tool bag. And he's impressing the hell out of me every time I see him. And I want to see more of him. And when he came out first, I was kind of disappointed because I was hoping he was going to win this and have a TV. I can imagine his match with Lethal being very good. And also, BJ Whitmer, I give the guy a lot of stick, but he's in the background. He keeps shouting, "You're disgusting, you are, man. You're disgusting." And when he does this peacock things, oh, it's so funny. Johnny is really hilarious. And I like how they going for the quick pinfalls, the quick roll-ups, telling the story that, we are going to be wrestling for a very long time if we want to win this. So let's pace ourselves. Let's try and get a quick wins early on so we can rest for the later on in the gauntlet match itself. I'm a fan of that. Page hits a very, very nasty power slam. If he did an inch more to the left, he would have broken poor Castle's neck. Castle hits a deadlift bridge German for 2, which is incredible. It really, really is. Castle then rolls him up for 3 to get the win, obviously. So now you have Adam Page eliminated. Afterwards, Page beats on Castle. Kazarian now is the next man to come out, so you now have Kazarian versus Dalton Castle. Kazarian then jumps off the top, and then Castle in midair catches him and hits a Northern Lights suplex in one motion. So he catches him and then kind of falls back with him in Northern Lights. Like, this guy is ridiculously strong. He is ridiculously strong. Kazarian then victory roll, but then Castle rolls through for the win. So now you have what does that mean? So now we have Kazarian eliminated. Jesus Christ. The issue with this Field of Honor is I watched the first bit and then I had to watch the Wednesday shows for the Wednesday Raw Room. So my notes are all over the gaff. So if you hear this, that's just me turning my page on the notes because I've got stickers here where they all are. So I do apologize about that. Then after the match, Chris Sabin comes back out and Sabin and Kazarian start beating down on Dalton Castle, the poor bastard. And then whose music hits is Silas Young. So Silas Young sprints out. He just covers him for 2 near fall. I thought that was it. And these two will wrestle at the upcoming pay-per-view, All-Star Extravaganza 6. So if you're listening to this and you live in America, this will be available to you on pay-per-view September the 18th. Make sure you purchase this pay-per-view. You got Dalton Castle, Silas Young. Winner gets the boys who do the fan gimmick for Dalton Castle. And this feud's been building around quite nicely on ROH TV. And it started back at the last pay-per-view, which was Death Before Dishonor. And people telling me this is an pay-per-view. This is not. This is a video on demand. So if you want to watch this, this will be available forever. You can watch it now. I think it's $19.99 unless you're a Ringside member. Then you get it for $14.99. Again, so if you listen, and if also All-Star Extravaganza 7, if you are listening to this and you don't live in America and you want to watch it, you can also watch it on iPay-per-view on ROHWrestling.com. So let's support these companies that aren't making a lot of money compared to WWE. And if you can't afford it, no problem. There's a Pirate's Life for you. At least you're still supporting the company that you love. Good. Either way, please just get out of your way and watch it if you're a fan of Ring of Honor. Young hits Misery, though, to get the win very shortly after. And that means you've got Silas Young advancing. You've got Dalton Castle eliminated, but he got beat down twice. Did they really protected Castle? Because Castle now, he got beaten twice. He got beaten once, but he got beaten down after both his wins twice. So in theory, he should have lost after the first one, but he beat Kazarian in a big upset. So they're doing a good job in booking Dalton Castle. The next person comes out is Bushwhacker Luke. Really big pop. He does his Bushwhacker walk. He then gets in the ring. He gets thrown out to the outside. He then walks around the whole of the baseball field. He gets counted out, but and then he starts continuing to walking to the back. The crowd chant, "You still got it," and it was a great moment. It really was I wasn't expecting it. Really good stuff. Then Moose comes out, obviously seriousing this up. So you got Young and Moose. Moose hits a pop-up clothesline and a spear to eliminate Silas Young. Then Moose now advances. So you got Moose versus Donovan Dijak from the House of Truth. And I talked about this a lot on the Wednesday War Room that we did out here on KocoSports.net YouTube channel. I think with Donovan Dijak, I think you got to give him time. Lots of people don't like it when you say that, but in my opinion, give it time, because if you look back at the history of all of the top prospect tournament winners, Hansen, now he's off to Japan, wrestling for the Pro Wrestling Noah tag titles. You had Matt Taven. Look at him now. So it is proof it does. Michael Bennett, he's flying around the world. He does New Japan, he does UK, he does everywhere. This top prospect tournament does work. So you just give it a few months. Okay, he hasn't really been positioned well in House of Truth, but at the same time, at least he is still in the mix. Maybe he could turn on Lethal and then big babyface push and then have Lethal versus Dijak for one of the straps. If he has any straps by then, I'm not sure. But either way, please do not give up on Donovan Dijak. And this was one of my favorite parts of the match now, as you have Dijak and Moose an intense stare down, and then Moose hits a beautiful drop kick. Baby Batista chance for Vin Diesel. Now, if you don't follow Ring of Honor, or if you only watch it now and then, type into your Google, type in Vin Diesel. Open a new tab, type in Vin Diesel, and then type in Batista on another tab. Compare them. They look so much alike. It's not even funny. That's why they call him Baby Batista. Dijak then hits a discus big boot. Very, very nice. And then a chokeslam into a backbreaker for 2. Dijak then hits a running, standing, shooting star press to the floor. I've never, ever seen him do that. He's pulling out all the stocks. I've never, ever seen him do that. This guy must be at least 7 foot tall. Like, for instance, he is at least 7 foot tall and he's hitting a running shoot star off the top. He then misses a moonsault off the top. The guy's athleticism is just ridiculous. Moose then hits a running springboard drop kick off the top for ridiculous athleticism. Jesus Christ. Moose then hits the spear to get the win, and they're really protecting the spear. I'm all for protecting the integrity of the business and the finishing moves. Having Moose always win with that spear, I've never seen it being kicked out, because then, say in a year's time, you have Moose. But for instance, I'll use Jay Lethal because he's a champion now. You got Moose Jay Lethal for the World Championship at say best in the world. You have Moose hit the spear. Everyone's on their feet. This is it. No one ever kicks out of the spear. Then when Lethal kicks out, it'll be special. It'll be one of those moments in wrestling that stands the test of time. That's why we need to protect the moves. That's why Nakamura versus Tanahashi at the final day of the G1 Climax tournament was so good, because no one kicked out of 2 high fly flows. Nakamura did. No one kicked out of the Bombaye, and Tanahashi did several times. That's why that match, in my opinion, was so good, because they protected the finisher for big matches, for big moments. And I'm very happy the Ring of Honor are going down this route. I don't really need to do that a lot more, because Cena's AA is worthless. When Cena hits the AA, I don't think he's won. I just think, oh, okay, cool, he's going to kick out. Oh, I may as well write 2 near for my fucking notes. Awful. Jesus. Anyway, still very good stuff. I was impressed with Moose's performance. I was impressed with Dijak's performance. Shout out to both men. And please, can I get this match sometime? Singles, 10 to 15 minutes. Please, Ring of Honor. Thank you very much. Cedric Alexander comes out now. Obviously, Alexander and Moose, the history of that, where Alexander's the first guy to beat Moose. So there's some history to that. And basically the ref is distracted, and from behind, Alexander hits him with a wrench, which gets the win. So now Moose is eliminated. You have Cedric Alexander versus Watanabe. They are the last 2 men involved. So you're basically down to a one-on-one match. Damn, I hate reviewing Gotlets. So you have, I'm a fan of both of these men, by the way, just putting out there. I'm a huge fan of Cedric Alexander. Now he's turned heel. I really am. Watanabe, when he goes back to New Japan, I'm very curious to see how the man will be booked. Will he be booked as a heel? Will he go back as a babyface? Will he go back as the same gimmick? I'm curious to see, and I'm looking forward to Watanabe when he heads back to Japan with the experience that he's gained from Ring of Honor. He hasn't really had a bad match here in ROH, and I'm very happy for Watanabe to be heading back to Japan soon. Watanabe hits a half Nelson suplex and a filthy headbutt. It was filthy. I mean filthy. Watanabe then hits a spiked STO to get the win, and I mean spiked. It was spiked on his head. It was nasty. I'm going to give it 3 stars as a whole, because I loved this match. It really was good. The surprise of Bushwhacker Luke was brilliant. I wasn't expecting it. I'm a big fan of the Bushwhackers, obviously Hall of Fame members this year for the WWE. If you classify that as an achievement, it's good for you, but I don't know. With these Hall of Fames, it's such a political backstabbing fucking business when it comes to WWE. It's like, yeah, if you're not on good terms with WWE, you're not going to get in the Hall of Fame. I don't really know my opinion on the WWE Hall of Fame. I think that could be a whole nother podcast, in my opinion, that my opinion on the Hall of Fame. But right now, speaking of it, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm going to be nice to WWE so I can get in the Hall of Fame. Like, that's the way, like, if I was a WWE wrestler, I wrestled for 30, 40 years, I'm ending my career, and I'm thinking, I want to go in the Hall of Fame. I want people to appreciate my career. I want them to respect me. Then I'm thinking, right, do I go and bitch about WWE on a podcast, or do I keep my mouth shut and kiss their ass that I do get inducted into Hall of Fame? Because it's a political piece of shit. It really is, and it pisses me off. I also liked how they're continuing this Young and Castle feud, which is going to be a good match. I'm really looking forward to that. Moose versus Dijak was great, and please, I want to see that in a singles 10 to 15 minute match. I think it could be a really, really good match. And if you'd be surprised when you watch it how good the match is. And Dijak is so damn athletic. I've never seen it before. And Watanabe with a big win here, well booked. Alexander obviously already won 2 matches, so he didn't look like a jabron. You're still making him look strong. Everyone came out of this looking good. So it's a good idea. Then we have the Kingdom and Roppongi Vice. The Kingdom is Michael Bennett and Matt Taven. They're accompanied by Maria Kanellis. Roppongi Vice is Trent Barretta and Rocky Romero. They were facing off against the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson, and ACH and Matt Sydal. I'm going to take a drink. I'm going to take a pause. Of course, if I was a professional podcast right now, I'd click the pause button, but I'm not. I'm doing this on Google Hangouts because I'm a fucking toilet. It's just when you're solo and you're talking for a long time, it's nice to have a drink every now and then. See, this is where if I was doing this on the KocoSports.net YouTube channel, I'd have clicking the refresh button so I could get a live comments, but I can't. Oh, Fanta. I'm a big fan of Fanta. Random pause for the cause. I'm a big fan of the Fanta fruit twist. And at the shop, at the local little shop near me, they do big 2 litre bottles. Buy one, get one free for £2.09. Like, dude, that's a really good deal. That's basically £1.04 per 2 litres. That's incredible. I picked up several bottles today. Very, very, very good stuff. Well, Jesus Christ, the match starts. Young Bucks, ACH Sydal versus Kingdom Roppongi Vice. That's where I was. We'll get back to that. I do apologize about that. The man has to drink. We have some incredible fast-paced action to start off, hold to hold, technical, really crisp, fluent stuff. I'm English, so I'm a huge fan of that, of course. The four-man then super kick the Kingdom. The four-man, I mean Young Bucks, ACH and Sydal. Young Buck and Sydal then both hits moonsaults off the apron to the floor. ACH then hits a running shooting star over the top to the floor. Kingdom Roppongi Vice then take turns in doing home runs. It was fucking hysterical. Sydal then hits the best standing moonsault in the business. It really is a pretty move when Sydal hits that standing moonsault. Young Bucks then hit about 85 super kicks. They generally hit shitloads. Nick Jackson hit the Swanton Bomb for 2. Kingdom hit Hail Mary for 2. Good near fall. Generally thought that was it. Taven then hits a beautiful disaster kick. It really was nice. All 8 men exchange super kicks, variations, kick variations, drop kicks, running knee strikes, you name it. It was there. Running shotgun knees. It was all there. Then Nick Jackson hit another swanton bomb, this time to the floor. Young Bucks hit more bang for your buck. ACH 450 splash. Sydal to top it all off with a shooting star press off the top to get the win. Very fun match. You know, it wasn't serious. It was more of a fun comedic match. The sense of humor that they brought to the table because of Field of Honor, it made sense. It was fucking hysterical. I was laughing my ass off when they were doing the runs and they were doing chants as they were running. And then as they got to the fourth base, they got super kicked. It was fucking hysterical. Really good stuff. I'm going to give it 3.25 stars. Really, really entertaining. Very good stuff. And it doesn't get any worse than that. It generally does not get any badder than that now on. Now you've got 3 incredible matches, which I definitely advise you to watch. So listen closely. So in a rematch from the G1 Climax tournament of this year, you have Michael Elgin versus IWGP Intercontinental Champion Hirooki Goto. I'm looking forward to seeing Goto in a few months because I'm going to Revolution Pro Wrestling / New Japan Pro Wrestling Global Wars UK 2015 in a few months at Reading. If you are there, hit me up in the comment description and you can buy me a beer. No, I'm joking. I'll buy you a beer as a supporter. Jesus Christ. And I'm looking forward to Goto being there. Okada versus Will Ospreay is on the card. I'm so excited. Homework from LK. Okay, homework from me. I tell you to watch one Will Ospreay match and tell me he's a bad wrestler. I dare anyone to tell me that Will Ospreay is the bad wrestler. I will go to the grave to defend Will Ospreay. I think he's the most underrated professional wrestler on the planet, and he's going one-on-one with one of the best professional wrestlers, if not the best, in Okada. Oh, dude, in a 5,000-seated building, the crowd's going to be electric. It's going to be special, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I really, really am. And Michael Elgin, in his own right, did very well in New Japan for the G1 Climax. All in pretty much. He wrestled 18 times because obviously he didn't wrestle one of the nights because Nakamura was injured, which is a tragic shame. I think Nakamura and Elgin would have been a great match, but he wrestled 18 times in New Japan. He should be proud of himself. He busted his ass off. I mean, even Coco did a podcast. I think it was an open letter to Michael Elgin apologizing because Elgin busted his ass, and he really did. And I hope he continues to get booked. Jesus Christ. And after seeing 19 Days of Elgin come out to shit music, like he had such a generic theme song. When he came out to his ROH theme song, I was there marking out. I was standing and clapping. Oh, please check out Michael Elgin's theme song. Put your headphones in, give it a listen. And I fucking dare you to not just think of a badass. Dude, it's so good. This again, rematch from the G1 tournament. Match. I'm a big fan of both men as well. That's another thing which helped this. I'm a big fan of both men. It starts off the Code of Honor. They start off by exchanging strikes. And I mean strikes. They ain't lollygagging or pussy fucking around. They really are striking each other. Elgin then over 30 seconds for a delayed vertical suplex, which is part of what got him over in Japan, in my opinion, was his ridiculous feats of strength. I mean, he hit super falconaros off the top, deadlift style, deadlift Germans here and there. He hit vertical suplex squatting. He didn't squat, but he held it up for 30 seconds. And commentators Steve Carino and Kevin Kelly did a great job of saying, look, the blood will rush to your head. That really is dangerous. And I really am a fan of that. Elgin hit a German into the buckle, go to a Saito suplex, go to then hit a filthy headbutt. It looked like I just saw a tooth fly out. It generally looked like a tooth flew out of Elgin's mouth. Elgin then hits a modified chaos theory for 2. Elgin with a deadlift fucking falconara off the top for 2. That's ridiculous. Very nice spot. Great near fall. Got to them with a Canadian fucking destroyer off the top for 2. Goto Death Valley driver to the knee, to the head for 2, and the show 10, which is do you remember Matt Morgan used to hit a suplex into a sit down spine buster? It's like that, but it's a sit down clothesline to get the win. Very good physical, fast-paced match from 2 big muscular men. I'm a big fan of that. After their match, even though Elgin's a heel, they shook hands and Elgin raised his hand in victory. Very good stuff. I'm going to give it 3 3/4 stars. Nearly a 4-star match. It just didn't get that long because the card was so stacked. So if you give that 5-10 more minutes, you're looking at a 4.5 star caliber match. It really, really was a great match. And I'm a big fan of Elgin, and I pray to God, I swear to God, if you listen to Vince Russo's podcast, the Swerve theme song that he has, I think that's a great, great song. Really is a great song. In this match, as at the point I was getting, Elgin, I hope and pray to God that he continues to get booked into New Japan. The crowd are happy with his performance. Everyone's happy with his performance. You know, now with the Ring of Honor New Japan Pro Wrestling, a healthy relationship established now in 2016, let's see if we can really, bring more guys like Roddy Strong. Let's bring Matt Sydal, ACH, Cedric Alexander over there. That they think about it. Sydal ACH can help the dying IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Division. This is the tag team division for New Japan right now. Young Bucks, Red Dragon, Roppongi Vice, Time Splitters. That's it. Period. End of. Chuck in the ACH Matt Sydal. That's 5. You can chuck in fucking, who else you got? ACH Matt Sydal. You can chuck in Red Dragon. I forgot to mention Red Dragon. That's 6. And add War Machine to the heavyweight division, because the heavyweight division in New Japan's embarrassing. You've literally got 10 Koji, which is Tenzon and Kojima. You've got the champs Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. I think that's about it. I generally am struggling to think of it. I think the Kingdom when they go over there. So there's as good as tag team division Ring of Honor has. New Japan has, quite frankly, the worst tag team division, because I think it's because they focus so much on the singles competition, hence why the IWGP IC title was so prestigious and the world title was so prestigious. Oh, Jesus Christ, what a rant that was. I don't even know, how did we go so off topic? I am the Human Waffle Fest Machine. Let's use that as a hashtag. Hashtag Human Waffle Fest Machine. Hashtag Human Waffle Fest Machine. Hashtag HWN. HWM, let's get that trending. Damn it to God. Then we have Time Splitters, which is Alex Shelley and Kushida versus the Briscoe brothers of Mark and Jay Briscoe. I think Mark and Jay Briscoe are the biggest pieces of shit ever. I wouldn't say that to their faces, of course, because I'm not a fucking idiot, but I don't like or appreciate their wrestling ability at all. I think they're very over. I will give them that. I think they're good at what they do. But when I watch Ring of Honor, I want to see 2 guys in wrestling gear wrestling their asses off, starting off with hold-to-hold technical, if it's an intense rivalry, with a brawl, but not the Briscoe style. They don't look like nice human beings in general. And when I picture them backstage, I just picture them being nasty sons of bitches. And I'm just not a fan of Briscoes. Give me heel heat all you want. I can't help it. I'm just not a fan of the Briscoes. I can't help that. I mean, hashtag man up, hashtag fuck off. How about that? I really am not a fan. Mark Briscoe is your face of peril. Jay Briscoe gets the hot tag. And because both teams are faces, they do 2 hot tags. So Kushida gets a hot tag. And Shelley at this point is pissing blood from his mouth. He's lost a tooth. It looks really funny, but must have been so painful. Literally, he had his teeth at the front. There was one missing. It looked really bad. Hope the guy's okay. Shelley hits a running knee off the apron. Kushida moonsault for 2. Kushida then with the hoverboard lock, but Jay Briscoe breaks it up. Kushida does the "you can't see me" pose before hitting the handstand into a drop kick, which was absolutely fucking hysterical. The crowd marked out for it. It really was a funny spot. Briscoe's then hit the border toss into a neck breaker. Jay hits the Jay Driller to get the win. It was an okay match. Again, I can't help not being a fan of the Briscoes, which is one of the reasons why, in my opinion, it wasn't as good. I just wasn't emotionally invested in this. How about that? If I was more emotionally invested in this, I think this could have been a very, very good match. I just didn't care. Whoever won, it doesn't matter. If Time Splitters won, good for them. If the Briscoes won, good for them. It just didn't matter enough, and that really affected it for me. So I'm going to give it a 2.5 stars. If I cared about the Briscoes, you make a bump it up to 3. By no means was this a bad match. It's just like I said, my level of hatred for the Briscoes because of Ring of Honor. If these guys were in WWE, I think they would be one of the best teams ever. But because of where they are, because they are in Ring of Honor, I feel that you should just be. I'm a stereotypical bastard. I think you should just be wrestlers wearing wrestling tights. I don't like having stupid gimmicks, minus Dalton Castle, because he's an absolute legend. You shouldn't have stupid gimmicks. You should be serious professional wrestler caring about the world title. These guys just look like nasty bullies. They look like bullies. They look like fucking tramps. They just look like absolute toilets. Mark with his stupid Mark Kung Fu bullshit. I've had to suffer through this as being a Ring of Honor fan for 5 years, rolling on 6 this year. And I can't stand watching fucking Mark Briscoe wrestle or Jay Briscoe. When people say they got out of touch of Ring of Honor when Adam Cole was world champion. I lost my faith in Ring of Honor when Jay Briscoe was world champion. I would much rather Adam Cole over Jay Briscoe. Look, I'm not saying Jay Briscoe has bad matches. I don't care about him emotionally. I'm not emotionally invested, which is the point of wrestling. It's meant to be an emotional roller coaster, and you're meant to care a lot about these talents. And then on to a personal dream match of mine is we have Roderick Strong versus Okada. I've already talked about Okada versus Will Ospreay that I'm going to in a few months being my personal dream match. This is one of my other dream matches. Hey, you can have more than one dream match, can't you? It's Roderick Strong, IWGP Heavyweight Champion, Kazuki Okada. Sorry, I can't say his first name, so I'll say it quickly because I slaughtered Japanese language. And I'm going to take another drink before we get on to breaking down this main event. And Nigel McGuinness is on commentary with Karina and Kelly. And I really like that touch now. They seem to do that a lot now with the Ring of Honor when it comes to their main events. It's like they're putting Nigel McGuinness out there to, I don't know, because it kind of gives that a big fight feel. I'm just a Nigel McGuinness mark. I remember watching as Desmond Wolfe and a TNA UK tour in January of 2010 when they came over. I watched, just listen to this. I watched Desmond Wolfe, aka Nigel McGuinness versus AJ Styles for the TNA World title. That was special, and I'll never forget that. And it was a great match. Oh, here we go. Code of Honor starts us off. They then have an exchange of some very nice technical offense. Strong hits a filthy belly to back suplex onto the backbreaker. Strong then continues to chop the shit out of Okada's chest. It gets to this is wrestling chant. They kept on trying to chant that all night. I think there was a group of fans who just wanted to get that chant loud. It kind of got loud, but it gets louder later on. Strong leads on the top rope. Okada hits the best dropkick in professional wrestling. Strong hits a belly to back onto the apron. They exchange some chops from Strong and some uppercuts from Okada. Strong with a big superplex. Strong then applies the stronghold. Okada just about gets to the ropes. They exchange some finishing counters, aka the Rainmaker. And then in a beautiful spot, Okada goes for the Rainmaker. Strong hits 3 jumping knee strikes, follows it up by a gutbuster and the sick kick. I'm on my feet saying that's it. He's knocked off the IWGP World Champion. He kicks out to incredible near fall. It really was an incredible near fall. I was sat there. When you get off your chair, I'm sat there. You guys know if you watch the podcast I do on KocoSports.net, why I usually have video podcast. I don't know why I don't have a video podcast on. I like the logo. I like looking at that Field of Honor logo, so I remember what I'm talking about. It's a nice comfy chair. I pushed the chair back and stood up when he hit it because I thought, fuck me, that was it. I thought that could be, the catapult for sending Strong to Japan. I was really excited about that, but still very good stuff. Strong then goes for a fourth jumping knee. Okada in midair catches the knee, pushes him up in the air, nails a tombstone. Okada hits a rolling German, follows that up with a fucking Rainmaker clothesline, turning him inside out to get the win. Standing ovation from the crowd and the commentators. All 3 commentators stand up and give it a standing ovation. I had high expectations going into this one. They may have even exceeded them. It was a very good match. Code of Honor ending. That's what Ring of Honor is all about. That to me makes me a proud Ring of Honor fan. That's what it is all about. 2 guys going in there, busting their ass off for my entertainment, your entertainment. And that's what they did. They did that and they busted their ass off. It was 2 great pro wrestlers, 2 of the very best wrestlers on the planet wrestling because they want that big victory to elevate them to the next level. Okay, Okada's not elevated to the next level, but if Strong won that, he would have been in IWGP heavyweight title contentions. That was a big match. 4.5 stars. Very, very good stuff. That's the spot at the end with the gut buster and the sick kick from Strong was incredible. Please go out of your way to watch this match. It was fucking incredible. I can't remember the last time coming from Ring of Honor show that a match not involving a championship or major storyline got me this excited. I'm usually one of the guys that say, look, Every match should be for a title or title contentions or some kind of storyline feud. That didn't happen. However, it was just two phenomenal pro wrestlers going out there doing what they do better than anyone else in the world. That is wrestling. Strong is having one heck of a year. I even said on the Evolve 47 and 48 preview right here on KocoSport.net YouTube channel and the SmartCommand.com channel. Check both out. I said, look, this year has been Chris Hero's year when it comes to independent wrestling. Okay, that's understandable. Come on, Chris Hero's having a great year. He's having great match after great match after great match. But in my opinion, Roderick Strong, he had a 5-star match against Jay Lethal at Death Before Dishonor. He had an incredible match with Donovan Dijak this past week on ROH TV. He's had a 4.5-star match with Okada here at Field of Honor. This is his year, and he's in the best shape he's ever been. I honestly feel he is going to capture the World Championship before this year comes to a close, or by next Field of Honor, he will have captured or not be the world champion of this Ring of Honor company. And he signed an exclusive contract to Ring of Honor. So after a few months' time, he will stop being an independent wrestler all around the world. Obviously he'll continue the UK bookings, but it will be exclusive to Ring of Honor. And I want to check out, and I hope Roderick Strong comes over to the UK around the southern parts of the UK, because I can't go that far out, because when you live in the south, it's not like when you live right in the middle. If you live in London area, you can kind of just get anywhere, whereas when you live right at the south, there's only a few trains that go everywhere, and it costs a fucking bomb. Like to go to Preston to watch Preston City Wrestling, which I was attempted to go to a few times, it came close to £200 there and back on train, because you have to stop at several stations, get onto different trains, and I'm thinking £200 for a fucking wrestling show. I just bought 3 tickets for me and 2 friends to go to watch NXT TakeOver in London, and that only cost me £140. So come on, you want to see that's the difference. And then by the time you pay the tickets, pay your hotel, pay to get fucking drunk, it's a fucking bona fide clusterfuck. But I want to see Roderick Strong wrestle before I die. That's one of my main goals. I'm seeing all the New Japan guys, so I can say I've done that in a few months. I just want to see Roderick Strong wrestle live in person. And then we go on to our main event. We have the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions Red Dragon, which is Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, versus Jay Lethal, your Ring of Honor World Champion and TV Champion, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura has a bandage on his arm. I was really concerned heading out, because obviously what happened in the early days of the G1 Climax tournament, and he kind of didn't lift it for his vintage poses. But at the same time, I hope he's okay. This is really sadistic of me. I want him to take a few months off so that he can come back for my show. Well, obviously it's not my show, but the show I'm going to in a few months. I want him to take a few months off so he can be healthy, because I want to see him and Marty Scurll tear the fucking house down. And Nakamura does get the biggest pop of the night by far, rightly so. He's the fucking king of strong style. There's a code of honor. Lethal shakes everyone's hand, but Red Dragon, I thought that was very funny. The Healy prick. Lethal and O'Reilly then have a lovely exchange of some hold to hold and some lovely crisp, fluent hold to hold technical wrestling. Lethal and Nakamura then produce tension between the ranks. They kind of won't tag each other in, and when they do it from behind their backs, which I thought was very amusing. Nakamura gets the hot tag, hits some nasty knee strikes, and the Regal Plex. I'm a huge mark for William Regal. I pray that in the NXT TakeOver London show he's on the card somehow, some way, or even just comes out. I think he'll get a great pop. O'Reilly then applies the cross arm breaker and hits a running knee off the apron. Lethal then hits a suicide dive to the outside. Lethal then super kicks the back of the head. Nakamura with a leg lariat off the top. They all connect with some strikes of some kind, and all 4 men are now down. Nakamura with the bombier, Lethal with the elbow drop off the top for 2, or Hail to the King, whatever the fuck he calls it, for a near fall. Nakamura then applies the cross arm breaker. Lethal with lethal injection to get the win. After the match, Lethal wouldn't shake Nakamura's hand, gets the heel heat back on him. Fun tag team main event, 3.25 stars, nothing to complain about, just nothing really special. It's watchable, it's more than watchable, it's acceptable, it's a good pro wrestling tag team match. I hope Nakamura's okay. That arm does look dodgy, that bandaged arm does look very dodgy. And again, put in the comment section, listening to this on KocoSports.net, was this show a win? Was this show a tie? Was this show a loss? I will reply to every single comment by computer, by the keyboard. I'll reply to every single comment. Thank you so much for listening to this. Make sure you check out KocoSports.net. It's where the world comes to kick ass. Your home for combat sports, and above all, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. And I'm a passionate fan of this product that Ring of Honor continues to pick up. We're on a roll. Ring of Honor is gaining some momentum. Make sure you check out. Want to give a plug to my other team at smartcommand.com. Please give them a try, give them a listen. And if you'd like to listen to these podcasts, you can subscribe to KocoSports.net YouTube YouTube channel. And if you head over, type in LK Wrestling Reviews on YouTube, you'll be able to subscribe to my channel where you can see my personal Raw reviews that I do solo. That being said, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. It's been a pleasure chatting with you for over 30 minutes. By God, what Waffle Fest this has been. Please check out ROH Field of Honor 2015 at rhwrestling.com. Stay safe, stay well. This has been LK. Catch your ass down that line.